Welcome back to Feed Scarborough's volunteer orientation. Feed Scarborough is committed to protecting the privacy of our staff, volunteers, and our clients. It is up to everyone to take an active role in ensuring privacy protection. Ensuring that staff and volunteers take an active role in protecting the privacy of individuals, no matter how small, is a large part of providing good customer service. It also provides public trust. An individual's name alone is not considered personal information. Add any of the following, which is not an extensive list, and it becomes private as it further defines the individual: address, ethnic origin, color, religion, marital status, education, or ID number. Volunteers will most likely have access to sign-in sheets, donor lists, surveys, application forms, and databases. Information used in a business capacity is not considered private information. Volunteers must never disclose or share personal information and/or any confidential information received at any point, even after the volunteer opportunity has ended. Always be aware of your surroundings, report any suspicious activity to staff, and refrain from using your phone. Go to a private location, keep phones and devices out of sight of clients, and don't take pictures or videos without consent. Never share private information via email, instant messaging, or unsecured file transfer systems. Don't leave computers unoccupied. Make sure it is password protected and don't leave sticky notes with passwords visible. Ensure unauthorized individuals are not inadvertently listening to your conversations. Ensure the personal information that is being relayed is to the correct individual. Confirm the client's name at the very least. Unless an owner's authorization has been received, never have a conversation with a third party about that client. Records should always be accounted for and stored appropriately: notes, work documents, etc. Lock screens when not in use. Confidential and/or personal information should not be copied: USB drives, notepads, etc. When using Feed Scarborough devices, do not log into personal accounts, including social. Refrain from clicking on any suspicious URLs. The personal information of our volunteers will not be sold or shared and is only used to manage volunteer placements, hours, and schedules. Access is only granted to staff at Feed Scarborough. All parents have the right to breastfeed their babies in public, anywhere, anytime. No one should stop a parent from breastfeeding the child or ask the parent to cover up or move to another place. Upon request of the parent only, a private place can be made available. Please do not offer up the washroom. Volunteers are not permitted to speak to the members of the media, so we do ask that you direct all inquiries to staff. Media now includes bloggers and YouTubers, so please be aware of your social channels, as followers may be media. Volunteers are not permitted to speak to elected officials in any official capacity. Refrain from posting on social media volunteer activities, participants, public, staff, etc. Do repost and retweet from Feed Scarborough's official channels. If commenting on published external posts or media articles, ensure readers know your comments are of your own and not that of Feed Scarborough. We expect our volunteers to comply with the Smoke-Free Ontario Act. Do not be impaired by any means while volunteering. The sale or concealment of illegal drugs is prohibited. The sale of legal drugs, such as cannabis, is also prohibited. Please be aware of any residual scent, as some of our clients and staff and/or volunteers have scent sensitivities. Every person who has reasonable grounds to suspect that a child is or may be in need of protection should promptly report the suspicion to a Children's Aid Society. It is not necessary to be certain that a child is or may be in need of protection. You just need to make the report. No one can make this call for you or tell you not to file a report. You do not need to tell staff. Familiarize yourself with the location of the fire extinguishers. If the fire alarms are activated, please close all doors where applicable and leave the building area. Call 911 no matter how small the incident if the fire alarm is not enabled. And please do report to staff as a designated location. Feed Scarborough promotes a safe, welcoming, positive, inclusive environment where people are valued and respected. Discrimination of any kind against people based on protected grounds is strictly prohibited. Protected grounds under the Ontario Human Rights Code include age, ancestry, color, race, citizenship, ethnic origin, place of origin, creed, disability, record of offenses and employment only, family status, marital status including single status, gender identity, gender expression, receipt of public assistance and housing only, sex including pregnancy and breastfeeding, and sexual orientation. Forward any concerns to Suman Roy at suman@feedscarborough.ca. Strong and diverse teams recognize unconscious bias in order to overcome hidden prejudices, which does influence our relationships in the workplace. You will be surprised as to who our clients are. Recognizing unconscious bias and how it affects our attitudes, behaviors, and decisions benefits everyone in the workplace. As Canadians, we've inherited a legacy of racism, which is more common than you would think. The Ontario Human Rights Code surveyed people in 2017, and 40% of respondents said they had experienced discrimination in the previous 5 years. Aboriginal people is the official and legal term to refer to First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Never say Indian, as that terminology is deemed offensive. If you or one of our clients identifies as a trans person, he, she, they have the right to use the washroom that they identify with without fear of intimidation. Avoid gender-based titles such as ma'am, sir, miss, Mr., lady, or gentleman. If you do not know someone's pronoun, it is okay to ask. Mistakes will and do happen. Just say sorry and move on. Feed Scarborough is committed to building an accessible environment in which all individuals have access to services and programs in a way that respects the dignity and independence of people with disabilities. Removing barriers include visible, non-visible, and attitudinal barriers. To make Ontario more accessible and to ensure people with disabilities can participate more actively in their communities, the AODA establishes 5 standards that recognize 5 areas of daily life: customer service standard, information and communication standard, transportation standard, employment standard, and design of public spaces standard. Key principles of AODA include integration, independence, equal opportunity, and dignity. Types of disabilities include intellectual, developmental, mental health, learning, mobility, sensory, hearing, vision, speech and language, cognitive, and temporary. Can you think of someone you know who fits into each of these categories? Remember, do not touch service animals. Service animals guide people who have vision loss, alert people who are deaf or hard of hearing, notify individuals to an oncoming seizure, and provide general assistance to others with disabilities. Service animals are not necessarily dogs and are permitted. Please direct any and all inquiries or questions regarding service animals to staff only. Some of our clients use assistive devices. An assistive device is a tool, technology, or other mechanism that enables an individual to do everyday tasks and activities. An assistive device is an extension of the person using it. Do not touch them unless consent has been given. Some of our clients may attend a food bank with a support person. A support person is an individual who assists people living with disabilities with a variety of tasks depending on their capabilities and needs. Please speak directly to the client and not the support person.